So let's start off with the jar of names. Let's give it a little shake, try and find a nice name. I'm thinking maybe one of these. Okay, right. So this video is for everyone, including but not excluded to Horia. Right, so hello. E3 2015 is literally right around the corner. For me personally at this time, it is about 5 hours away. It's not very long at all. Or it may already been finished. It depends on when you're watching the video. But this little video is a... 1 second. Ring, ring. Hello. This is a conference call. I apologise. Yeah, this is a conference call video. It's basically where I'm going to go through the press conferences and list some of the things that they announced. I'll go through the main show floor of E3 as well. Just listing all the things they announced and give a sentence or two of my thoughts very quickly. Just try and get it all done quite quickly. Just sort of letting you know what they said if you just want to watch this video. Just basically run through some of the announcements and stuff. Yes, I'm going to be doing some live recordings as well, so you can get my first-hand reactions on some of the announcements. Hopefully, there'll be a Beyond Good and Evil 2. If there's not, I will probably kill myself. Because I need that game so badly. Yes, but I'm also going to do some of your reactions as well. I'm going to leave a video up where you can sort of comment on some of the things that you liked and want to talk about, and I'll use those reactions in the video as well. Right. I'm also going to throw up some pictures as well of some of the things I'm talking about, just so there's a bit of a video as well if you want to watch it. And I'm also going to show you some timestamps of roughly where they were announced, all these things of what I'm talking about in the actual videos and press conferences when they get released online, which they will eventually happen. So that you can just skip to the parts you want to watch if you don't want to watch the whole thing. Right. But I think that's about it. Bethesda's first press conference starts at 3 a.m. in the United Kingdom, which for me is 5 hours away. I'm now going to stay up and wait for that, and probably go to bed at 4 o'clock, which is not going to be very healthy, but it's E3. It only happens once a year. Right, okay, let's start with Bethesda. So the first one was Bethesda's press conference. They started off with announcing Doom. It was about approximately 11 minutes in. I've never played any of the Doom games, but I like the look of this one. It looks like Resistance, Bioshock, Dead Space / Call of Duty sort of mix. I really like it. There's lots of blood. It looks very fun. There's also this thing called an Echo device where you can sort of watch a security camera of a monster through like a what's it called? Hologram. That's it, hologram. It's pretty cool. And they also showed off some sort of level design, which is a little bit like Little Big Planet. It seems to be a big feature this E3. So it's a Little Big Doom I've written down, and also looks like some crazy chaos. They also announced Bethesda.net, which is approximately 31 minutes in, and it's basically everything is together. That's how they're doing the level design from Doom. It's same as everything else does, where it's all linked together on one account. Battle Cry at 32 minutes in. It looks a little bit like Team Fortress 2 vibe. It looks a bit done and could be fun. It's not really my sort of game. It could be fun. It looks a bit dull, but it could be fun. I suppose I've never been a Team Fortress 2 fan, so I can't really say. Dishonored 2 was announced at 35 minutes in. I am very interested in it. The trailer is not, it's not much to the trailer. It's 2 players to pick from. Apparently, one for the first Dishonored and a new lady as well. But yeah, it's not much to show about it, but I am very interested to find out about that one. And they've also announced Dishonored Definite Edition, which was 43 minutes in. This is good for me because I've never played the first one, and I would like to play the first one because of something that might happen down the line to do with videos. But yeah, that's great. It's obviously HD of the first game, which would be fantastic, and I would love to play it eventually when it comes out. The Elder Scrolls Online was at 42 minutes in. The game looks too big for me. Like, it's an MMO, especially with Skyrim, which is taking me forever to do. I might not play this one. But yeah, basically there's an add-on to it where you can go to Ornithium, the town, the Kingdom of the Orcs, which is like halfway between High Rock and Skyrim, which I forget what the mountains is called. Maybe the Grey Mountains, maybe not, I'm not sure, but yeah, roughly around there, so it's similar to Skyrim. Elder Scrolls Legends was at 45 minutes in, which is a tablet game, and it looks a little bit like, is it Hearthstone, with the Blizzard, where they have like the card games. Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. Now on to the big one. So, Fallout 4 was announced. We all knew it was coming. We had that tease before E3. It's 50 minutes in. And yes, they've been making this since they finished Fallout 3. So it's a long time in the making. They showed this bit with all these pictures where it's obviously there's going to be some sort of secrets hidden in there. So hopefully somebody will break that down and be able to find some secrets. But yeah, the game starts with the pre-bomb in Fallout. If you know the story of Fallout, it starts before the bomb goes off. It shows you the creation thing, which is amazing. And you've got, obviously, you can have a female character as well. And you get to see a robot, who I love this robot. Cogsworth, I think his name is, something like that. He's very funny. The name, well, they said about the name, the characters in the actual game can call your name out. They've got a certain amount of preset names which they've recorded the voice dialogue for, so they can actually say your name. But I guess it'll only be a few. Maybe Jamie will be there, I don't know. Yeah, so then you go into your vault, and then you come back out 200 years later for some reason. And you go back to your house, and the robot is still there! It's fantastic, it's still there, it's amazing. He's like, oh, hello, sir, you've been very late for tea. It's absolutely fantastic, I loved that. That sold me on the game. As well as some other stuff as well. You also meet your dog, which I think was a little bit underwhelming meeting the dog. Maybe there's some other things to it as well, some context, but in the demo, the dog was a little bit okay. The Pip-Boy, obviously, is back, and you can actually get a real Pip-Boy with a collector's edition, where you can use your iPhone to have the app inside, so it looks like a real Pip-Boy and works like a real Pip-Boy. They also announced Fallout Shelter at 66 minutes in. This looks pretty cool. It's like a little life sim sort of game on the iPhone, where it's like a little bit like FTL, a little bit like all those sort of games like that, where you control the little characters, you move them around, you build up your little vault. It looks fantastic. It's free, and it's actually out now. It came right out after the Bethesda conference, so it looks really cool. I want to really play that, but I don't have an iPhone, so I can't. But it looks amazing, which is a nice little sort of key in to Fallout 4. And then we also go back to Fallout 4 at 71 minutes in, sorry. And they show you some building. You actually build your own little settlements. And this is where it sold the game for me. I've never played a Fallout game. I would like to. I always wanted to play a Fallout 3, but I've never been put off because of Skyrim and stuff. But yes, this sold me on the game. You have to sort of like go scavenge around, find some things to build up your town. It looks fantastic. As well as weapons, you can do some stuff, same stuff with weapons. Yeah, and it's out November 10th, so it is looking very nice, and I cannot wait. Then we go on to Microsoft press conference. Halo 5 Guardians we talked about as 3 minutes in. They said this thing called ping mode, which is a little bit like the thing I talked about earlier with the Echo device in Doom. So this is like a recurring feature I've seen, as well as the Little Big sort of Doom thing, or Little Big whatever else game will be. It's sort of like a recurring theme. But yeah, the ping mode is similar to the holographic display, where you can sort of see they're looking for their Master Chief, and they use that to find him. It looks pretty good. There's lots of teamwork going on. There's a co-op, and there's like a Warzone online multiplayer stuff. Yeah, looks pretty cool. It's Halo. What do you expect? Then they announced a new game called Recall, which is at 12 minutes in, which looks fantastic. They're set in the desert. It's like with robots. The best way to describe it is desert robots. But it's an exclusive, obviously, to Recall. I get a feeling of Star Wars from it. Like the clothes of the main character looks like the Star Wars 7 character. I forget her name, unfortunately, but it's the lady who you see in the trailer. Very Star Wars vibe from that word. Pretty cool. I like the robot, the robot dog sacrifices himself, and then she puts like the spear, the soul spear, whatever it's called, into this other robot. It looks great. I like the look of that. Love to play that soon. There's lots of robots this year as well. And then they announced the big thing of Microsoft's conference is the backwards compatibility, which was 17 minutes in for Xbox One, where you can play old games, which looks fantastic. It's a great move for Microsoft. I'm not really a Microsoft fan. I'm more of a Sony person. But this is a great move for Microsoft, which was fantastic. And also, I think there's some multiplayer as well. Like some of the multiplayer works on some of the games as well, which is quite good. And that's coming out pretty soon as well. They also showed off a new controller at 20 minutes in, where you can sort of swap some of the keys around and remap the keys, which, yeah, is pretty interesting. It's not major, but it's pretty cool. It's nice to have. And then they showed Fallout 4 as well from Bethesda at 22 minutes in, which is, we saw pretty much loads of footage of this the day before, but it looks pretty cool. It's the same as what we saw before, pretty much. There's power armor, makes you look like a big daddy, I feel. And it's pretty cool, because if you buy it on Xbox One, you get Fallout 3 with Fallout 4. Which is great, and Xbox One is supporting mods, so that you can get mods online for the PC version. Well, now you can actually have them on the Xbox One, which is a great move as well. Okay, and EA Access, which is 28 minutes in, where you can get like early access to some games and get downloads as well, which has been like PlayStation Plus or something like that, or games with gold. Yeah, pretty interesting, not really exciting though. Garden Warfare 2 was announced at 32 minutes in. This is the Plants vs Zombies stuff, where you get new characters and new maps. I actually quite like the first game. I played it a little bit, or quite a lot I suppose, but yeah, this one looks quite good with new characters. Probably won't be able to play it myself now though, but it was pretty cool. I like the look of it. Forza 6 was announced at 34 minutes in. It's great. It's a Cars at a Game Show. It was a Ford GT, because that's what gamers want to see, cars. I'm sure every gamer likes cars. It's a gift. It's a given. Dark Souls 3 was announced at 37 minutes in. I don't really see not much about it. There's a crown, there's some creatures, and there's also this really big guy as well that appears at the end of the trailer, but looks pretty good. Now, The Division was at 40 minutes in, and I think this looks really great. I'm really cool. It feels like they sort of said at the beginning, where they sort of said I think it was Tom Clancy. Well, the first Tom Clancy game came out. I think it was the first time as Xbox Gold went live or something, and it felt like too much of a forced Xbox link it to the Xbox conference. But I'm not sure. It's out in December anyway, and I think the game looks good. We'll talk more about it in the Ubisoft press conference. Rainbow Six was talked about at 43 minutes in. Apparently you can get Vegas and Vegas 2 free with it as well. You can all play it as one, and that should be out in October. Gigantic was talked about at 45 minutes in. It looks quite generic, but it does look quite cool, and I really like the art style, but it looks like a generic game, like a MOBA type game. They showed off some indie games at 47 minutes in. Some key ones that I saw were Below, which is like that 2D sort of game where it's like a big areas and like a small character. And there was also Ark Survival Evolved, which I've talked about before, with the dinosaurs where you have to survive, like a Minecraft sort of dinosaur high definition game, which looks pretty cool. There was also Tacoma, which was announced at 49 minutes in, which looks pretty generic but looks quite interesting. It's an indie game, obviously, and it's set in space, which looks pretty interesting. There was also Ashen, which was announced at 50 minutes in. It looks a little bit dark. It's another indie game, but it looks quite good. There's tombs, and at the end there's like some sort of big flying fish, which looks pretty cool. Didn't really see much else about it though. Beyond Eyes was at 52 minutes in. This is pretty interesting because you're actually a blind character and you have to use your other senses to see the game world, which would be interesting to see how it goes. Cuphead was announced at 53 minutes in. It looks mad, it looks intense, but apparently it's really fun. It's like an old sort of arcade game. Game preview was at 56 minutes in. This is basically where you can see development games where they're being developed. It's like an early access sort of type thing, and apparently DayZ is going to be part of that as well. Ion was talked about at 57 minutes in. It's like a space MMO sort of thing, like DayZ from the DayZ guy, and that's pretty much it. We didn't really see much about it. It was really random. Didn't really see much about it. Rise of the Tomb Raider at 59 minutes in. It looks fantastic. It looks like a snowy area. It actually looks like a movie. And it does look a little bit like Uncharted. Like, you remember Uncharted 1 and Uncharted 2. In Uncharted 2, there was a lot of snow levels. It looks like Rise of the Tomb Raider have done the sort of same thing with the snow, but it's pretty good. It definitely looks like a movie. Fantastic. And that should be out in November. Rare Replay is out. Was talked about at 66 minutes in. You get 30 games on this remake sort of copy, which is like a collection game. You get 30 games, which is fantastic. Where you got like Banjo-Kazooie and all that sort of stuff. Something Toads, War Toads or something like that. It looks pretty good. 68 minutes in, we get the Sea of Thieves, which is the new game from Rare. Look at what I was watching it, I was thinking, this looks like a pirate game, and I heard pirate music, and I was like, yep, looks like a pirate game. So the art style looks pretty good, and it was a pirate, and it's online as well, which looks fantastic. The ships look a bit small, but we don't see much about it. 71 minutes in, I have failed to name what this thing was. I actually have no idea what is this. Oh, I know what it was. 71 minutes in, sorry. It was Fable Legends. Right, now I was talking about my friend that's work with this. It started off by hearing the Cersei voice, like Cersei, the actor that plays Cersei, or the actress. I thought I heard the music and I was thinking, this sounds a little bit like Fable, and it was. But the trailer was so different to what we've previously seen of Fable Legends that I didn't know it was Fable Legends, and it was. And I actually thought it looked a lot better, which was absolutely fine. Like, talking to my friend about it, and he was saying that at first we were a bit put off by Fable Legends, but we sort of grown on us in time. Like, we'll give it a try and see what it's like. But yeah, it sounded okay in the end. And then we talked about HoloLens at 75 minutes in. And Mojang come on screen talking about Minecon 2015, and then they showed off some of the actual HoloLens, which they showed like a Minecraft on a table where you looked inside the what's it called? Inside like the buildings, because it was like a hologram on a table of Minecraft. It's pretty cool. You could also use your voice controls to like call down lightning, and it's pretty cool. And it looks fantastic. 81 minutes in, there was a Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which is now in beta, which you can get. And then there was also 82 minutes in was Gears 4, where they were hunting something, and the weather was obviously kicking off, and they called the main character JD. I did not know I was part of this game. Apparently I'm in Gears 4, everybody. I'm the main character. But yeah, I was getting quite into it. Like, I really wanted to find out. It looks a little bit different from what I've seen of the other Gears of War games, and that's coming out next year, but that looks interesting. On to EA's press conference. Right, now this is where there's some interesting things happened. Mass Effect Andromeda was 1 minute in. It looks pretty cool. It's like a cowboy space adventure, which looks fantastic. It's apparently you're going to be exploring a new galaxy. Obviously, the Andromeda Galaxy is our closest galaxy which eventually will one day collide with us in like thousands and thousands and thousands and maybe billions of years in the future. But yeah, that looks quite interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Need for Speed was 6 minutes in. It's going back to its roots, where it's like more street racing and a mix of everything. And I saw the demo. I've played a little bit of a demo of Need for Speed back in the day. And I remember I spent ages trying to customise my car. It looks like that is back, which is fantastic. And it's coming out in November. Star Wars The Old Republic at 14 minutes in was getting a new, more BioWare-style story. It's out in October. It's free, and the story looks fantastic. It's very dark and ominous and cool. Then Unravel was announced at 90 minutes in. This looks pretty cool. It looks like a little bit like Tearaway, but there's some cute pictures, and it looks a little bit like Little Big Planet. But it's called Yarny. It's a little creature. It's so cute. I just want to get a cuddle when it's like fun. And the guy was really nervous as well. He was shaking. Bless him. And then there was Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2. Was talked about. What was it talked about? Where the roles were reversed. You are now the main sort of characters are the zombies, so to speak. Like you are defending the zombies. And I was actually really engrossed in this. Like I said, I played the first one ages ago. And it was really fun. The solo play as well. There's more solo play, which is good. And it's pretty cool. NHL 16, 35 minutes in was announced. It's sports, EA Sports. It's not the most exciting thing for me. Yeah. And then someone come on who's called Hoop God. And all I could think was, oh God. And then we saw Minions Paradise at 45 minutes in. Badabidu, it's like a Fallout shelter where you can sort of customize your minion paradise. It's pretty interesting. FIFA 16 was announced at 50 minutes in. Yes, it's all about Pele, and I know him. I actually know Pele. He brought him on the stage, and I actually know who Pele is. Like, it's the only football I probably do know. So if I know him, he's a good player, because I don't know football. But yes, he seems alright, and they're actually including women teams, which is a big move, and I think that's fantastic. Great for them. Mirror's Edge, Catalyst, was at 62 minutes in. It's an origin story. It's beautiful. It's apparently it's all open world. It's like a free range. You can choose what to do. It's out February next year. And the colours look amazing in this game. So high def. Madden 16 was announced at 67 minutes in. Again, there's another one. I don't really care about these sports games. Just get over with it. And then there was Star Wars Battlefront at the end at 74 minutes in. Which it looks like they're creating like a museum in video game form of Star Wars, like all the models and stuff. And there is a slight solo mode where it's like a co-op missions, or you can do it on your own. And yeah, it looks like you're actually playing Star Wars, which is fantastic. It's what they're trying to go for. I have heard from a trusted source though that the gameplay like on the ground is absolutely fantastic, but flying is really terrible, like game-breakingly terrible. But that was just a demo. Maybe it'll get better in time. Right, now I've just had to come out my tea break. It's time to go on to my favourite press conferences. So we've got Ubisoft press conference, my favourite things. The first thing that was announced was South Park Stick of Truth 2, which has now been called Fractured But Whole. I did watch the playthrough of the first one. I quite like it. I'm not uptight about the humour of that sort of game. But it looks really quite funny. I love the name. It's very clever play on words, and yeah, it looks quite good. They did actually have to have an apologise. Like they apologised for the mainly Assassin's Creed Unity, how bad it was. As in, like, release dates and the release copy. 6 minutes in, they did that. And it's like, yes, that's cool. It's nice that they acknowledge these sort of things. Like, bad things do happen. They shouldn't happen in the first place. But it's nice when they acknowledge it. And hopefully, it'll never happen again. At 9 minutes in, they announced For Honor, which is like their new sort of franchise. I'm slightly on the fence about this, because I don't know which way it's going to go. I thought it looks a little bit like Rise, or a little bit like Chivalry, which you remember that game. If it's more like Rise, I'll be happy. If it's more like Chivalry, I will not be happy. But basically, it's like a history thing where they try to do it real with like the fighting systems, and it's online. And the developer was pretty cool. He was like a proper Viking. He was like, here's a new game, Vikings, death, that sort of thing. Yeah, but my problem with this is if they go more like Rise, where it has got a storyline to it, like it shows you about the history of these factions and stuff, then that'll be fantastic. But if it's all online like Chivalry, then no, I will not be happy. The Crew is at 17 minutes in. This is like a wild run. I think it's an expansion pack. And it reminds me of Cannibal Run, if you remember that film, Cannibal Run, where they all sort of run across this state trying to get some money with crazy cars and stuff like that, wacky racers. 19 minutes in, there was a new Trials expansion, which is like, it's like a WTF lol, what is going on sort of thing. Where it's like a something, I can't remember what it was, riding a unicorn breathing fire. It was weird and fantastic, but yeah, it's Trials. The Division at 20 minutes in, basically they showed off a PvP zone where you get some new gear. And you can kill everybody and take it all for yourself. And it's coming out next year in March 2016, which I still think the Division looks quite cool. I want to give it a go, maybe. 29 minutes in, they talked about Anno 2205, where basically you can go to the moon, but you have to get up to a stage where you can go to the moon. It looks a little bit like Beyond Earth, obviously the Civilization. It's not the same sort of type of game, but it's like, I suppose that's the next sort of step in these games where you go to the moon and stuff. 33 minutes in, they talked about Just Dance 2016. They brought out Jason Derulo, who is a #1 at the moment, which is pretty cool. It's interesting when they do this sort of thing, but I do just want to see games, not really want to see these celebrities. But it's nice that they're taking apart, I suppose. Basically, you can get new games if you subscribe. New games, new tracks when you subscribe. It's like a streaming subscription, it's called, I think. 39 minutes in, they talked about Rainbow Six Siege. Looks pretty cool. They've got Angela Bassett, who is now going to be part of it. And it looks pretty cool, like they're sort of hunting terrorists. 30 minutes in, they talk about Trackmania Turbo, which apparently this came out in arcades ages ago. It looks a lot like Wreck-It Ralph. There's like 200 tracks, and you've got another builder to build tracks. And it's back to that sort of little big planet thing where everything seems to have like a level creator nowadays, like with Doom and stuffs. At 58 minutes in, we finally saw Assassin's Creed Syndicate, something that I'm more interested in. It looks really good. There's like some big gang fights we've talked about before. I think the same thing with Assassin's Creed is it needs a change, like AC2 did. Like everything, they seem to be getting a little bit stale from looking at these sort of stuff. And there's no gameplay demo either, which is a little bit weird. But there is something later on which I'll talk about in the Sony press conference, which I'll think is like the big change in Assassin's Creed. But I'll talk more about that later in the Sony one. 65 minutes in, we saw Ghost Recon Wildlands. I was a bit disappointed at this because I was expecting something else, but it's not as this. But it is pretty cool. It's an open world, the biggest open world they've ever done, apparently. You can choose to kill these guys whenever, however, and it's pretty cool. And yeah, it looks a little bit like, obviously it is Ghost Recon, but it's in what's it called? The Mexico sort of area, where it's lots of drugs and stuff. Now on to Sony's press conference. Right, so 5 minutes in, we saw the biggest reveal, Last Guardian. And when this came up, I was like, oh, Sony's won E3. And it looks beautiful, the music is fantastic, like the way he communicates, yes. But obviously, it's been away for a long time, Last Guardian, and it was finally got announced. Which I think is what made Sony win at E3, but we'll talk about that later. 14 minutes in was Horizon Zero Dawn. And now this looks amazing! It's like the sort of post-apocalyptic world. I think that's right, isn't it? Yes. Where all the humans have disappeared and the cities have sort of been taken back by nature, and there's like the ruins of like skyscrapers and stuff. It's fantastic. It's like you're like a little tribal person, you're going around, and they reveal there's robots. You're hunting robots, which is fantastic. I love the look at this game. This is probably the one game I've looked at a lot, like with loads of demos and stuff, just trying to find out more about it. But it looks fantastic, and it's pretty cool. 21 minutes in, Hitman was announced, which is a big win for Sony. It looks amazing. You're going around the world. It's Hitman. It's pretty cool. 24 minutes in was Street Fighter 5. Hadouken! Street Fighter, Hadouken! 26 minutes in, it's No Man's Sky. It's a big world, and I'm actually looking forward to this game. Like, I didn't really know what I thought about it, but I'm actually sold, I think. I would love to give it a go, this one. 32 minutes in was Dreams, the new game from Media Molecule. Basically, you can morph things. It looks a little bit odd. Basically, you can make your dreams, and it looks really strange and odd and creepy, so to speak. But there was little polar bears, and it was like, oh, that's nice. But yeah, so the thing with Media Molecule, they always go crazy, and I don't know if they deliver. We'll find out when it comes out. 38 minutes in was Firewatch. Now, I love this game. I've seen some demos from IGN when they had like an early preview sort of stuff. First something or other. But yeah, the story is really good on this. It's like a mystery about stuff what's going on. And it's quite cool because the main guy reminds me of my uncle, like an American version of my uncle, which is fantastic. 39 minutes in, they talked about Destiny, the Taken King, which makes me think of Jonathan Strange, Mr. Norrell, or the Raven King. But yeah, looks like it's a good story. It's you can get some powers to make you look like gods. Like there's a guy with you can have like I don't know what it's called, but you can have like a hammer sort of thing. It's like an energy hammer sort of thing. And you can have, which reminds me of like gods with like a hammer, or like Freya, stuff like that, with like big Viking gods. Right, now they talked about Assassin's Creed Syndicate again at 43 minutes in, and basically they showcased, no demo still, there was a demo at the game, but it was not shown in the actual press conferences. They showed off Evie for the first time, really. She is more a stealth character, and she has a cape like Ezio does. Now, I think the big thing about Assassin's Creed Syndicate, for me, like, every game needs to have something that makes it different from the rest. I think for this one, it's the fact that you can choose between the two characters. Like, it's got two protagonists, which I think they need to focus on that a lot more, because that's what's selling this game for me, the fact that there's two people. This is making me feel like this is a good installment for Assassin's Creed and not just another one, which I'm starting to feel like, which is a bit of a shock for me, so I like Assassin's Creed. I like it nevertheless, but it's nice that they're having this little different thing. But I like the fact about that, and we've actually got a demo later, which I'll talk about as well. 45 minutes in was Final Fantasy, all the world of Final Fantasy. I like this little chocobo. There's like a three sort of people. You can have like a bottom person, a you, and one that's riding you. Is like three characters, like a tower of people. It looks quite cool. It's like a top-down sort of thing, and the world looks cute and chibi, and it's just like, yeah, it looks nice. Then something which I think is amazing, Final Fantasy VII Remake. And when they announced this, I think this is exactly like, no one else could beat Sony now. This is where they're, especially with surprises, Sony won this. They nailed it. Yeah, this looks fantastic. They made it. Like they said about, what was it? They did something where they announced something to do with Final Fantasy, and people were like, oh, it's a remake, oh, it'll be great. But it wasn't a remake. It was something like they didn't want. And I remember watching the IGN thing when they said about, oh, I think they need to sort of make a Final Fantasy remake. And apparently they are, which is great. It's fantastic. Right. 49 minutes in, they showed some indie games, which on my just list here, they've got Ronin, which is like a samurai thing. Elite, they got Mother Russia Bleeds, and they've got Crossing Souls, and they all look like Flash games, like mad, crazy sort of thing. And Ronin probably looks the best. It's like a cool little game. At 51 minutes in, they talked about Shenmue 3, which I know about Shenmue 3 through Scottish Duck, who I used to watch. And they said they're doing a Kickstarter. It got funded very, very quickly, and yeah, that's obviously going to happen now. I think it was 2 million their goal was, and they got that, so that was fantastic. 54 minutes in, they talked about Batman Arkham Knight. Basically, I thought the Joker was actually going to come alive again, because I thought they couldn't kill the Joker. I didn't think they could do that. But no, they definitely confirmed that he is dead. They put him in a crematorium, and they burnt him. So yeah, I think he's definitely dead. But yeah, he's a scary man. But yeah, Batman Arkham Knight comes out very soon. Then they showed 58 in Project Morpheus with some other stuff as well. They showed some sort of games. They talked about a rig sort of match where you can have like a robots in like an e-sports sort of game. When they also showed off some Spotify stuff and some View things. Not related to Morpheus, but they showed off like a few things, services that we don't really care about. 62 minutes in, they showed Black Ops 3 because now its COD has come over to PlayStation instead of Xbox now. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's COD, future COD, fast-paced. You know what it is. It's COD. Right, and then at 73 minutes in, they showed another mix of games. They showed off Until Dawn. They showed off some Ratchet & Clank footage. It was like a montage. And some Uncharted footage, some God of War footage, etc. That sort of thing. It's like just a mix of stuff. 75 minutes in, they showed Star Wars Infinity. Yeah, small woo, I suppose. The two sets of Star Wars, of prequel and the sequel series. The guy was far too enthusiastic though. Like he was going like, "You can play as Boba Fett," and I was like, "Oh yay, Disney Infinity, we don't care." 79 minutes in was Star Wars Battlefront. Yeah, basically they showed off some missions with the solo. It's a co-op where you can do on your own, which I think is good because I didn't think there was any solo missions. But yeah, I would like some solos in the Star Wars. I want a big single-player Star Wars game. And at 83 minutes in, they showed off Uncharted 4. They had a few problems with the demo, but it's it's an early game, so that's fine. They showed off a little village, which looks fantastic. So if you look, this one looks a lot like the first one. It looks like they're combining everything from the last 3 games and sort of combining it into this one, which I think is fantastic. They're in like a village, and they were showing off like these big crowds. This was a big crowd, and like there was just interacting with the crowd. Like he walked past him, and he was a guy like the shock on his face when he ran into Nathan Drake was like, "Oh no, get out of my way, sorry." And yeah, I like the crowds. It was very populated. Now it's on to the Nintendo Direct video. So they showed off puppets. They were all puppets at the beginning. And 1 minute in, it looked fantastic. It looks amazing. It was fun. I loved it. And they were like, "Do a barrel roll." And we obviously knew that meant Star Fox was coming 4 minutes in. I think it's called Star Fox Zero. And it was pretty cool. Like the plane was turning into a mech and like a plane and everything. It looks okay, the game. Good use of everything. Of the Wii tablet, the Wii U tablet, sorry. And it was like a mini robot for the gyro mode where you go down. It's like walk around this little robot type thing. It was pretty cool. Yeah, But yeah, it was good. 12 minutes in, there was the Mario Maker, which, yeah, looks like a Little Big Planet sort of thing, but it looks great because obviously the way they do it, it looks fantastic. So yeah, sold with that. 30 minutes in was the Amiibo. Basically, what they've got is they've got Skylanders to make some Nintendo characters, and you can use these with both as an Amiibo and as a Skyland character. You can switch the base, and it's fantastic how they do that. I like the fact that they're sort of all grouping together these Toys to Life sort of stuff. 60 minutes in was Triforce Heroes. That's pretty cool. Like, I was really enjoying that. Like, where it's like the three characters, they've sort of stand on the tower to reach top things. It's out this year. There's some dungeons. And apparently, if you play on your own, it's AI dolls. It's not the extra links. It's our AI dolls, which I think is a bad move, but it looks pretty good anyway. 22 minutes in, they talked about Hyrule Warriors for the 3DS. It's called Hyrule Warriors Legends. It's like a reimagining, and they've got some more characters from the Wind Waker and stuff like that. 24 minutes in, they talked about Metroid Prime Federation Force. Yep, it's co-op. It looks a bit meh. It's for the 3DS, and it's not quite what people wanted. 25 minutes in, they talked about Fire Emblem Fates. The story looks interesting. The world looks quite good, but as a game, I don't think this is the sort of game for me. 27 minutes in, they talked about a game which I have no idea. I've literally put FE, but basically I have no idea what the game is. It's just like, I have no idea. It was really hard to sort of tell what it was. 29 minutes in, they talked about Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's basically Japanese. There's mech travel. Looks interesting. Yep. 31 minutes in, they talked about Animal Crossing. It's like where you can design your own buildings. Again, looks a little bit like Little Big Planet. I'm just making that connection. And you can obviously rate the houses at the end as well, which looks quite good and very fun. And some people will like this. 34 minutes in was my big thing of Nintendo's conference. Was Yoshi's Woolly World. Oh, you get plush Yoshi to get 100%. Apparently, it's quite hard to get 100% in the game. But you can get like a Mario Yoshi with different amiibos. And oh, it's like a plush Yoshi. It's so cute. And at 38 minutes in, they showed Yokai Watch, which is like the big Pokemon thing coming back with it when it's ghosts. Yeah, we'll see how this looks. Whether it can kill Pokemon, probably not. Next up was 39 minutes in, they talked about Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, where it's like 2 Marios and 1 Luigi. It's like Papercraft Mario. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, it looks like a Paper Mario game with Mario and Luigi and everybody in it. 41 minutes in, they talked about Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. Apparently you can get power-ups where you can get like really big, which looks interesting. 42 minutes in, they talked about Mario Maker again, where it's more like Little Big Planet. They showed some old documents for the old Super Mario games, and you can go into like land, air, and sea, and basically you can bring in amiibos and take different cast people and change their costumes and stuff, which looks amazing. Now on to the worst press conference, Square Enix's press conference. They now start off with Just Cause 3, where they it was 1 minute in and 6 minutes in. Basically, it was a video. It's coming out in December, and it's they're basically going to a place called De Medici, which I think reminds me of Leonardo de Medici, which looks pretty cool. But yeah, they showed off a tether. They can connect it to things and stuff. Yeah, Just Cause. Whoop. At 13 minutes in, they talked about a game called Nier from Platinum Games. Apparently, they've got some big names involved. It looks pretty good. I don't really know what it's about. There wasn't much shown about it, but apparently Nier is a game series already. I found out later. But yeah, there wasn't much about it. 90 minutes in, Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Basically, they're talking about how they do the game, and they're basically from scars from the first game they carried over into this new game, which I think is amazing. Detail-wise, is fantastic and just look beautiful. But yeah, it looks very detailed, and it looks a very good game. They also announced at 25 minutes in Lara Croft Go. It's like a tablet-based, turn-based game where it's it looks like a solid little game with Tomb Raider. It's like a Lara Croft going around. It looks, yeah, very cool. 27 minutes in, they talked about Heaven's Ward, which I always thought used to be Heaven's Sword, spelt wrongly, but no, it's Heaven's Sword. There's also talked about Life is Strange and Dragon Quest Heroes. Yeah, it looks okay. Well, actually, no, yeah, first off, the Heaven's Sword looks, yeah, okay. What was it next? I can't remember, I just changed my paper over. Life is Strange looks pretty good as well, and then Dragon Quest Heroes is a bit meh. Not really what I wanted to see, but yeah, I suppose. 28 minutes in, they talked about the Final Fantasy VII remake again, where they talked about... basically, I don't really know what they talked about, because it's they're bringing out the old version of Final Fantasy VII for iOS, but it's a delay for that. And it was quite weird, because they were obviously talking in Japanese, and the translator was not paying attention. He was not working at all. It was terrible. That is why this press conference was a little bit terrible. 32 minutes in, they talked about Kingdom Hearts Unchained. it's another one of those crazy Kingdom Hearts games which we don't really want, but we get anyway. But yeah, it is linked to Kingdom Hearts 3. And 35 minutes in, they talked about Kingdom Hearts 3, what we always want. Yeah! It was quite fun, because there's a guy, from the entire E3 press conferences, there's been one guy in the audience that's always been going like, yeah! Or, no! And he's basically been there the entire time, and they were talking about, right, it's time to talk about Kingdom Hearts now. And they was like, yeah! And they were all getting really excited, they thought it was Kingdom Hearts 3, and it wasn't, it was Unchained. And then we went on to Kingdom Hearts 3, and they was like, yeah, finally. But yes, basically I just love that in audience guy. But they're saying that Tangled is now part of the in the world of Kingdom Hearts. It looked like they're actually in Hercules level though, judging from some of the architecture and stuff and some of the monsters from Kingdom Hearts. But yeah, Disney rides, the things that they were doing with the Disney rides, if you know what I mean, like the pirate ship and the train. They look, and teacups as well. Basically, it's like all Disney rides by the look of it. It looks pretty cool. Okay, and there's no date yet though. 40 minutes in, they talked about the world of Final Fantasy, which is, I'm still a little interested about this. I said about the Towers of Monsters earlier. We get like a little Behemoth and like a little chocobo to go on your head. It's like a Tower of Monsters where you each attack. I suppose it's quite cool. 45 minutes in, they talked about Hitman again, which is it's the future of the series sort of thing, where basically if you try to kill someone and you fail and they get away, you can't do it again. They're gone for good now, and that's the entire game. Like if you muck up, you muck up, and it does not go back. Maybe you can probably force quit the game and go back, maybe it will work, but I'm not sure how it works. 53 minutes in, sorry, they talk about Star Ocean, integrity and faithlessness. This looks good. It was pretty good. It's out of 2016. There's like a seamlessness of going through all the different places they talked about, and some big parties as well, I noticed. 60 minutes in, they talked about Deus Ex Mankind Divided. It's set 2 years after the main game, as the last game, sorry, Human Revolution. Jensen has left Seraph Industries and he's now part of something called Task Force 29, I think. He's working sort of like a double agent. 68 minutes in, they talked about Project Setsuma, which is a new game. It's a completely new Tokyo RPG it's called Tokyo RPG Factory, sorry. It's a new, what's it called? Game development company they've set up. What's it called? Yeah, developers have set up. It's them obviously making an original game, and it looks pretty interesting. Project Setsuma, we didn't really see anything about it, but it looks pretty interesting. Right, my voice is absolutely going. I've been going for a long time. It was a big E3, very big E3. But that's all the press conferences. Now we're going to go on to the shop floor stuff where there was like some demos that we shown on like IGN and stuff like that, and GameSpot, that sort of thing. Recall, this is a game with the desert robots. Looks a little bit like Star Warsy bit. Basically, the characters are called Jewel and Mac. It's pretty cool, like you're exploring around, it's like fast-paced. Apparently the gameplay is described as hectic. And apparently you're apparently the only human, well, you believe you're the only human and stuff. The world is inhabited by robots, and it looks pretty cool. Apparently they've been working on this for 14 months. And what they're showing at the moment is the single player, but there might be some sort of multiplayer. They're saying at the moment they're only showing single player, so the way they worded it sounded like there might be multiplayer, but they didn't say there was, so there might not be. And basically they were saying they hope for action figures, which I think would be quite cool, because I love the little dog. The little dog was cool. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, showed some stuff now, basically where, if you saw in the demo, they're on the car, they're going down the mountain, and they're saying that there's some branching paths that you can choose to go whichever way, and the car will still follow you, because they've got an AI that does that. But yeah, it basically looks very populated. It's out in spring 2016, hopefully, and yeah, it looks fantastic. Now it was Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Basically, they showed like the weapons HUD device where you can sort of, what's it called? Customize your weapon with like the silencer, the sights, and everything, stuff like that. And basically, they're saying that nobody's evil in this game. It's all shades of grey. Maybe 50 shades of grey. We're not sure, but they're basically there. You know, no one's pretty much wholly evil, which is like one of those things that are pushed in games nowadays. Star Wars Battlefront was next. Basically, we're showing off some solo stuff, and apparently there's no animal mount, so you can't go riding any of the monsters and stuff. The Division, basically they're showing off it's all seamless, and basically when you go into the Dark Zone, you get cut off from your communications thingy where they talk to you. You know what that is if you've seen the gameplay demos. Basically, in the middle of Manhattan is where this Dark Zone is. And if you kill somebody, you become wanted, so that if someone else kills you, they get a money bonus, like a bounty on your head. But if it runs off, you get the bounty, because that's how it works, like a rogue agent, it's called. It was pretty cool. Edge of Nowhere was a game from Insomniac Games where you use the, I think it's Project Morpheus, I think. Basically, you are the camera. It's a third-person game, which is with the headset. You know the headsets they're talking about. basically you are the camera, you are the cameraman, you look around your character. And they were saying that when they were developing the game, they had to sort of change things, because if you go around a corner, if you don't change your viewpoint, you can go through the wall, which is obviously very, it'll probably make you feel very sick and stuff. So they had to sort of do it so in the game you don't see any corners, like you don't really go through many corners. But yeah, it looks a very atmospheric game. It's like some sort of monsters and stuff, and it just looks fantastic. It looks really good. Lego Dimensions, I've never seen anything of this, but I saw some stuff now. It looks pretty cool. Basically, you have like a Lego portal with the Games to Life thing. It's a portal level. It's like the same cake as like they're looking for a cake, and it looks pretty cool. And basically, it's like on the platform, you can swap between 2 different zones on the actual maps, which is pretty cool. I think it's called shifting. And you can change different sides by doing that as well. It's pretty cool. And you can have 7 characters on screen at once. I think it was even 8 or 9 or something, but it's crazy. There's loads of characters on screen, which is absolutely fantastic. Now for some bad news, people. I did say I was going to do some live footage of it for my reactions. I did not, though, because it was difficult for me to do. And I'm glad I didn't in the end, because there was some sad news about Beyond Good and Evil 2. Apparently, according to some of the game people at Ubisoft, Michel Ancel has left Beyond Good and Evil, the development team of Beyond Good and Evil 2. But apparently there's no news to discuss at this moment. But Michel Ancel has got another game coming out called Wild. His new studio called Wild Sheep Studios, and I like the look of Wild. He didn't say anything this E3, but yeah, apparently he's left Beyond Good and Evil 2, and there's no news. So maybe Beyond Good and Evil 2 is dead. Maybe it's just in a low-level development where it won't be in for another. Won't hear about it for another year or 2. But such sad news. Sadly, no Beyond Good and Evil 2. And I'm glad on my list that Assassin's Creed Syndicate is after this, because I need a little bit of cheering up after that Beyond Good and Evil 2. But yeah, so Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Basically, they have another new fight system, which is crazy because they're always doing a new fight system. Basically, but we were saying that the new fight system was more like close quarters and stuff, as we knew. The carriages apparently drive themselves because the horses are going to keep on going and follow your target, which is pretty cool. Multi-finishers are back, which is really cool. The gun, obviously, you can free aim the gun. Talking about Evie Fry, where their both characters got their own skill trees, where one focuses on more action, one focuses on more stealth, which is pretty cool. But they've both got their own stories as well, sort of in the game, which is like why I'm saying this is like a big sell point of the game, which I think is quite good. And apparently you can move with your gang as well. Like you can go with, if you get all your characters come in one carriage and you got more, your gang will get into another carriage, they'll steal their own and follow you around. It's like really cool. Like you come with your gang, like come on gang, let's go punch some people up. And also at the end they showed, it's not an eagle actually, oh, it might be a type of eagle, I'm not sure, but your gang, the rooks, the bird in the actual trailer is called a rook. But apparently also there's a chess piece called a rook as well, which is pretty interesting. Another game I'm really excited for is Horizon Zero Dawn. It's the game with the tribal dinosaurs, shall we call it. Apparently it's set 1,000 years after the disappearance of humans. And you've got like loads of different tribes. You're called Alloy, which is pretty cool. I think they pronounce it differently, but you're called Alloy, which is obviously a type of combination of 2 different metals or elements. Looks pretty cool. The grazers, they're called grazers, these animals are called, like the little deer people. And obviously you're attacked by something called a thunder drum, or thunder draw, or something, thunder draw, I can't remember what I'm writing, but it's thunder something. Which looks pretty cool. You can attack this thunder draw or thunder drum. I'm going to call it thunder drum. No, because that's a dinosaur from a dragon from How to Train Your Dragon. Thunder something. We'll call it a thunder for now. Thunder T-Rex. Basically, you can attack this guy, and either one of 5 different weapons can fall off to attack it with. Like you saw the disc launcher in the actual trailer they showed, or the demo, which looks pretty cool. And you've got a perk tree with different perks and abilities. It's an open world game. It looks fantastic. It's a little bit of RPG. It's out next year. This game looks really good. I really want to see this one. Lego Marvel's Avengers is another Lego game. Basically, it's the same as the last one, but they've got the voiceover from the actual film to use with the 2 different Avenger films. Some of the characters have updated characteristics, like Black Widow has like an X-ray vision thing now, which you can use. There's like 100 different characters or something like that. It looks updated, and apparently you can go around Manhattan or wherever the place is, and you can solve crimes. You get different crime calls and stuff like that. We're nearly done. Fat Princess Adventures. This game was like announced a few times ago, I think last year. It's basically Fat Princess, but it's more like a 4-player co-op mode, which I'm actually looking quite good to this. There's a thing where if you eat too much cake, which is the healing item in the game, if you eat too much cake, then you go into something called Chubby Mode, which is pretty interesting. There's loads of loot to collect as well. You can customise your character, which is a big thing. I think it's going to be really good. There's also some leveling, and there's something where you can use your different personality, and the personality you choose affects the different dialogue within the story, which is quite cool. Civilization Beyond Earth I saw also, and basically they're saying you can build cities on the sea, but the cities on the sea move, and when they said that, I just thought Stargate Atlantis, hands down. It looks fantastic. I really want to do that one. I really want to make Atlantis in that game. Final Fantasy VII Remake we saw more about towards the end of E3. I think it was the last thing they showed on the IGN live stream. Basically, it's nearly coming up for the 20th anniversary of the game. But this is not the final title. It's not going to be called Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's just what they did, so you know it's a remake. And apparently we're going to hear more in winter, which will be quite cool. And Kingdom Hearts 3, basically they're saying that they've got Tangled in the World, and they've actually got some more evolved combat, which is quite interesting to see. Just to talk about the Bethesda press conference as well, Mr. Domic98 has also commented saying some few things that he thought about the game. He says that he is very interested in the crafting system and the village building from Fallout 4. He said he's not very happy about the Bethesda.net system where it's just like EA's Origin sort of thing where it's all together. He's not very interested in the new Doom game as well. He says it doesn't look too good. He says all the enemies seem a little bit generic and like skinny dudes is what he calls them, and fat dudes and flying dudes and zombie dudes. But that is E3 2015. Sorry about if it's a lengthy video. I tried to obviously break it down quite quickly with just one word, some sentence answers to some of these games. There's a lot of games. But yeah, hopefully next year I'm going to try and change my layout of this so it'll be a different video. It'll be quite better to watch. But that was E3. Those are the things I saw, my thoughts on some of these as well. We'll talk more about all this other stuff as well later on. But it looks pretty cool. So, to sum up, so we talk about best game. Best game of E3 2015, me personally, I would say, it's a mixture of two. I think, as a whole, Fallout 4 is probably the best one because everyone's going to pick Fallout 4. I think just the way they announced it, just what we knew about it, just the different new features. I think it was obvious it's going to be that one. So I'm going to be fair, and I'm not going to say Fallout 4. It is on there, my best game, but I'm going to keep it off. I'm going to go for a different game. I'm going to say, for me personally, my favourite game of E3 was Horizon Zero Dawn. That's the one with the robots, the tribes, where you're taking down the robots. I think that just looks fantastic. I like the post-apocalyptic world. I like that one. I'm really excited to see that. And obviously Assassin's Creed Syndicate as well, but I didn't really mention that either because it's like a big... I'm going for like ones that aren't too obvious. So Horizon Zero Dawn I think is my best one. And for winner of the best conference, I'm going to say it's one of two. I think, in terms, considering this is their first E3 conference, Bethesda did quite well. Like the announcements, they were pretty consistent with their games. There's a few good ones, a few bad ones, but I think overall they did pretty well. And also I think joint winner would be Sony as well because they just did fantastic with the announcements of all the surprises like Last Guardian, Hitman, and all that sort of stuff like that. Except Final Fantasy VII Remake, I think they aced E3. So I'm going to say Sony won, followed very closely, if not joint, with Bethesda. And obviously Microsoft did very well with the backwards compatibility. It was very close this year, very close. They all did very well. It was a very good E3. But I'm going to have to end this now because my voice is going and I've got stuff to do. But yeah, I think E3 was a good year. I'll see you next year for another E3. We'll just try and do something different with a hopefully more exciting video. But we'll see how it goes. Yes. So until the next time we eat, farewell.